Well, good morning, everybody. And this is what we expected to see the market continuing to slide here. And we're going to talk about it. We have a lot to unpack here. Terra Luna continues to free fall. It has been crazy to watch that. So, Terra Luna went from being a top 10 cryptocurrency to almost now out of the top 100. It's been insane to watch. And we're going to break that down. What's going on? So, good morning, everybody. Jay Crypto, what's happening? Not such a good morning, is it? Well, you can look at it a couple different ways, right? It's not such a good market when you're looking at the short term here in the red. But if you're looking at this as an opportunity to accumulate, it's a great opportunity. And it is a good morning. So, Fidel, good morning to you. Can't buy the dip if it keeps on dipping. Excuse me. We are getting close to those numbers that we talked about yesterday, right? Bitcoin to about 28K, Ethereum down to about 1700. Actually, it was 2 days ago on Monday. Yesterday looks to be a fake out, right? Or a dead cat bounce. That's what we kind of talked about yesterday. It is looking more and more like that. Good morning. Hey, Tom. Kamal, good morning to you. I bought Ape at $6.44. That is what I'm talking about. That's why I've been waiting on Ape. I did think it was going to go lower. I'm probably going to be buying a few things here on sale right now during the live stream if this continues. So 8 below 6. Is it? Did it get down below 6? Let's see. Yes, it's down below 6 right now. $5.92 on Ape right now. Wow, look at that. Ape coin is on a mega sale. 8 below 6. I actually really like that. We'll see where it can. I mean, it can't go much lower than this, right? I mean, it is all the way down there from where it originated back in March on the 17th. So, my oh my, a lot of good opportunities out there just to accumulate. A lot of things have been, just obliterated here over the past few days this week. Should I buy Luna now? Yeah, we could talk about that, Titans. It's going to be interesting to kind of watch what happens here later this year with Luna. So let me get us some perspective here on what's going on with Luna, because I think that's really the topic of the town right now. Because I mean, it is trading less than $1 right now. I mean, this is crazy. So check this out. And I don't think we've ever seen anything like this, at least in the short couple years that I've been in the market. Terra is now ranked 81, trading at 92 cents. That is insane. If we go back here just last month, it was trading at $115. $115 back on April the 5th. And now we are trading under $1, and it is free falling now, 87 cents. Look at this, ranked 81, down 97%. This is a real crypto crash, guys. We are experiencing it right now. So buckle up. Everything is red. The overall crypto market, of course, but also the stock side of things. It is a bloodbath across the board. But this is where, we have opportunities. This is where money is made. Okay, this is where money is made in all type of markets. But let's talk a little bit about Terra. All right, so Terra's Luna drops to almost $1. Actually, now we're lower than $1 after 90% weekly plunge. Value locked on Anchor, Terra's largest DeFi protocol, which made up about 67 to 70%, dropped some 11 billion in the past 2 days. Okay, so Terra Luna's continued. Oops, let me go back. Says here, Terra's Luna continued its third consecutive day of slide as the token fell 96% in the past 24 hours to reach price levels previously seen in August 2021. We are lower than those prices now. Anchor, the decentralized finance platform, provides yields on UST deposits. Okay, that is Terra's algorithmic stablecoin. Saw total value lock TVL fall by 11 billion in the past 2 days. The drop came as TVL peaked at 17 billion just a week ago. All right, so it fell to almost $1.30 at the time of this writing. As I mentioned, we are lower than that. We are at 86 cents and still falling. Okay, selling pressure on Luna came as its parent foundation issued 46 million tokens in the past day to maintain UST's peg with the US dollar. That is what happened here. Selling pressure came as the parent foundation had to issue 46 million tokens just to maintain the algorithmic stablecoin and have it pegged to the US dollar. Now, the price action represented one of the biggest drops for a major cryptocurrency. Data shows Luna prices have dropped 90% in the past week, 7% in the past hour alone. I mean, look at this. If we go and zoom in here, in the last 24 hours, we're down now 98%. It's still falling. Okay. Down to 85 cents. I mean, every time I look at it, it's down another penny or two. It's insane right now. Okay. So it says here, social sentiment on social media sites for Luna remained poor among traders. Meanwhile, there was some very, very serious things posted on Terra's Reddit forum because people have obviously, people who had not sold at the top who are holding it. I mean, they are down ungodly amounts of money, right? It's crazy. But we're going to jump over here. There is another story here, or part of the story that I want to talk to you about Luna. We're going to unpack some of the things I'm seeing on Twitter as well. So this is how we lost our money. This is Derek Grant posting this. Have you seen this? Citadel borrows 100K BTC, trades 25K BTC for UST, opens a short, starts dumping 75K BTC aggressively. Once BTC reached 30K, they started dumping UST to make it lose its peg. Now Quan is forced to sell 25K BTC at a major loss to recover the peg, further dumping the price of BTC. Meanwhile, Citadel is shorting all the way. Interesting, right? Interesting perspective here. So good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Shiba down 17%, Ape under $6. Yeah, we've got just crazy opportunities out there this morning. Crypto crashing, love it. I'd stay with the blue chips and stay away from anything else, especially anything new, such as anything Ape, bananas, and even CBC. I hear you, man. I hear you, Boomer Sooner. What's up, Joseph? How you doing? Don't sell and wait. It will get better. This too shall pass. What's up, Anthony? I have money to buy still, but I'm going into blue chips. I like that, John. I do like that plan. I like that plan. Shiba strong like a tree trunk. We'll dip, but we're good. What's up, Lord Shiba? Guys, hit that like button on your way in. Rodrigo, what's happening, man? Fortune will favor the bold. Exactly, Faye. As they say, right? In the crypto.com commercials. Cyber, it's all dead. It feels that way. It feels that way, but it will get better, guys. I mean, this is you got to look at this as an opportunity, chance to really take a look at your overall portfolio. What are you lacking, right? What don't you have enough of? What did you want to get more of back in 2021 that you thought that time had come and went? Well, I guarantee those prices are back down to very attractive levels for you to add those things to your portfolio. Now, I added Terra here on the way down in the $30 range, the $20 range, and now it's under $1. So I'm going to hang on to it and see what happens, right? But I mean, so many other opportunities here out there. Let's see what else they're saying about Terra here. See if we can find out anything latest here on the news here. Let's see here. Let's see. 30K is a very important level to watch now. We might see a small pump for BTC and other alts here, but we should also consider the possibility and not jump into a long trade blindly. If the weekly candle closes below 28K, it would take Bitcoin to 20K easily, and alts will further drop 40 to 50% if this happens. So right now we are heading toward that number for Bitcoin. Right now it's 29.5. I don't think we got down to 28 just yet, did we? Nope. But we're getting down there. 29.3 at its low. Okay. We've got a market cap of half a $500 billion right now, basically, give or take, which, man, overall crypto market is now down to 1.3 trillion. We are down 13%. So, yeah, talk about a major shakeout here this morning. We look at this XRP down here at 42 cents. Look at Cardano at 56. Crazy. So many good opportunities. And again, when I'm adding to these, look at Solana down 27% in the 24-hour period. That is insane. When I'm adding to these guys, it's not all the way in because we don't know how low this is going to go. Don't try to time the market, in my opinion. But we can, slowly DCA in. Maker's up a little bit here. But if we go the other way, look at this. Terra is down 97%. Phantom down to 33 cents. Look at Gala. I mean, this is just a steal for Gala right now. Down to 6 cents. Gala's down to 6 cents. ApeCoin down 42%. I mean, these prices are just ridiculous. Look at Sandbox down at 125. Wow. Absolutely crazy, man. This is nuts. But we're going to come out of it. I mean, this is part of crypto. This is the volatility that we always speak of. This is what can happen. I mean, this is what we signed up for, right? We're experiencing it in the stock market, but you're not going to experience this much pain. But you won't experience this much gain when things are going well, right? That's what we got to keep in mind. So let's see here. Crazy deals going on. What's up, Mariano? What's going on? Relax. BTC have been dropped like this last year in July. Exactly. No, it's a good point. I mean, yeah. Let's go take a look at that. Actually, we could take a look at Bitcoin and where it was at last year. Let's sort this out. People do forget about this, right? Let's go to the all chart. Actually, okay. So here it was. This is 2021. All right. So 2021, we started out. Okay. Here's kind of as we turn the page into January. This is last year in 2021. Let me get that. There we go. Bitcoin coming back a little bit. People are saying, yep, pop back up to 30K. Okay, so this is 2021. Look where we were to start the year. Okay, let's find 1-1 even. Here's 1-3. All right, that's good enough. We were at about 32,000 to start the year last year. 32,000 to start the year. Okay, and midway through the year in March, well, in April, okay, April 14th, we hit $63,000. So we went from low 30s to 63K from January to April, just to fall all the way back down underneath 30K. We hit 28K way down in here in June, came all the way back down to 28K, just to then rise all the way back up to $69,000. That's how volatile crypto can be. It went from 30 to 63 to 30, lower than 30, all the way back up almost to 70. That was all just last year. That was just 2021. So it's a long year, right? And if we look at it just in our yearly outlook, here you go. Okay. Let's go year to date. And there we go. Year to date, we started up here in January at, about 47,000. By the end of March, we were basically at the same point. So from January to March, we basically did nothing. Now we're experiencing the big downturn. So as soon as we turn the page into April, that is when the shit started hitting the fan, right? And we've been experiencing it now for about 5 weeks. Okay. But it's a long, long year. I mean, again, when we zoom out here, there you go. We're getting down to these levels at 29.8. Okay. Will we bounce off this? Are we gearing up for the big run? I mean, if history repeats itself from last year, this is the big dump perhaps before the big pump. Could be, right? So welcome in, everybody. Luna Rising, is it? Let's see where we're at. We're at a $1.29 trillion market cap. Luna's coming back now to 97. Man, that thing shook out all the way to 83 cents or 85 cents, I think it was. Here we go. Back up to $1.33. I mean, look at the fluctuation right now. It is insane. Let's go over and look at TradingView and kind of watch some of these because this is crazy. Let's go watch, TradingView a bit. And guys, in a little bit, about 5 minutes, we're going to be joined by the team at DEVOUR Token talking about the restaurant industry and Web3 a little bit. I think it's good to kind of break away from the charts a little bit today and talk about a newer project that's really trying to do some interesting things and get into the restaurant industry, utilizing NFTs. We're going to get into it. It's really, really fascinating what they're trying to build. DEVOUR, their links are down below in the description too if you want to check them out. But let's take a look at Terra real quick. Actually, it's under Luna, right? Let's see, watch chart. Let's go to the minute. So there's the minute stick. All right, we're bouncing a little bit. We're back almost up to $2. I mean, just look at that free fall, though. Oh my gosh. This was yesterday where I was getting it. And then this happened. Whew. Wow. Now we wait. Now we wait. Lost 150K. Just made me lost everything to force liquidation on KuCoin. Cross margin. I wish I had never introduced to crypto. I was borrowing, thinking it will go up, but now I'm screwed. Man, that's why I don't ever talk about borrowing in crypto, man. It's really a risky proposition, man. And you've got time to kind of rekindle this, but only invest what you're willing to lose, man. When it comes to crypto, it's yeah, never trade on margins. I agree with Rodrigo here. Everybody has their different philosophy, but can you explain blue chips? Yeah, blue chips. I mean, I look at blue chips as top 100 cryptos, right? Blue chips are top 100 cryptos for me. You only lose if you sell. Yeah, that's true. Let's all say a prayer for our fallen Terra holders. Yeah, it'll come back. Don't panic. Good times ahead, people. Good vibes. What's up, Jerry? All right, guys, we got Chad Horn from DEVOUR backstage. We're going to bring him in here and break away a little bit from these crazy markets and talk about a new and upcoming project in DEVOUR. Good morning, Chad. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Zach. I'm wondering, how can you talk about anything without referencing the crazy markets?
Gosh. Well, let's start there, man. What are you thinking right now? It's certainly difficult out there, but something I've been talking about. These are some great opportunities. I mean,
Mhm.
and we have to look at it as such, especially if you're playing the long game, right?
Right. So, it's funny. I forget the exact quote, but I've been a Warren Buffett fan for a long time, and there was some quote after he made a big investment in Gillette, the razor company. He's like, something about, I sleep really well at night, knowing that in the morning, 2.5 billion men are going to have to shave. Right. So it comes down to, like, what's the fundamental of your investment strategy? Like, what are you rooted in? And we feel really good that what we're building is for the restaurant industry, which has been around for hundreds of years. $3.7 billion, 3.7 or three sorry $3.7 trillion industry
Mhm.
internationally. A million restaurants in the US. People aren't, no matter what the economy does, people aren't going to stop going out to eat. And so, since that's the industry that we are building technology for, and we already have a clear vision of how that will grow revenue, enhance the guest experience, the market turbulence is not pleasant, but it also doesn't deter us from pushing through, because we had a long-term plan from the beginning.
Definitely, man. Yeah, one of the things that drew me in to your project was exactly that, because so many new projects in the crypto space coming up, they're all kind of doing the same thing. They're all kind of, playing that game of, hey, it worked for them, it can work for us, right? And there's nothing really new. And we needed something new and fresh. And something I'm really looking at too with new projects like yours, we're solving real world problems, and it's a unique use case, right? You're going after an industry, as you mentioned, that's not going away. People love going out to eat. So explain to us a little bit about, what the inner workings look like with, the NFTs, the reward platform. What does some of this look like on your end?
Absolutely. So, and I'll go ahead and drop you a link, Zach, just in case you want to share that anywhere. It is a visual representation of what we were building. And I want to emphasize, though, what comes first before our ecosystem, how we're delivering value, is the mission. The mission to help restaurants with Web3 technologies. That's a fluid thing, right? Because the Web3 is evolving so fast. And we are going to always be looking at it from the standpoint of how do restaurants benefit, right? With all of the gross realities of a restaurant, like everything they've got to think about and do, all their other challenges and pain points. How do we take this awesome thing that is Web3 and make it work for restaurants now, to drive revenue now, to make them competitive now? They're going to need to eventually reckon with it, because this is an inevitable stack of technologies that will transform every industry. But in the meantime, when it's more of an opportunity than something they have to do, what does that opportunity look like, right? How can we significantly drive revenue today? And so we've built the ecosystem with that in mind, and we focus on the things that are going to drive those results. So we have, as you've pulled up on the screen, a token ecosystem. The DEVOUR token is the restaurant rewards token. So anything that a restaurant may wish to incentivize a guest around, anything that we, DEVOUR as a project, wish to incentivize guests around, or our collaboration partners like Board and Hungry, we can reward guests, community, etc., with this token for ordering online, joining a loyalty program, making reservations, showing up, coming back again, spending a certain amount, etc. And that's what this is, right? So that's the token we launched back in December. And once we really get going, and large restaurant groups and DEVOUR and collaboration partners are needing to buy that token in bulk to deliver their commitments to their guests and their communities, watch out.
Yeah.
Now, DEVOUR Pay is the transactional token, where we have to address the realities of, gas fees, right? So that's a token that was built or will be launched, or rather, we have the smart contract ready to go. We just need to wait for the proper time to launch it. And that is for ordering online. Anything transactional where you can't have gas fees impact the utility of the token. So they will be very complementary. Guests will earn rewards token for anything, right, that we wish to reward them for. And then they will swap that for DEVOUR Pay in a transaction fee less manner. And then they will use DEVOUR Pay to actually buy food, etc.
Mm-hmm. Really fascinating. So, I do want to talk, Chad, about just your background in the restaurant industry a little bit, and what brought you to this point. And
Yeah.
I know, we had talked, and all three of us. Shelly also has a ton of experience. That was one of the other things that drew me in to both of you, and I see the passion that you guys have for the restaurant industry. So, tell us a little bit about just your background and how you got here.
Yeah, thank you. My background is in restaurant technology. Probably no surprise. I've been in it for roughly 15 years, and my co-founders, Shelly and Lisa, 30 plus. This is the industry we've again spent our careers in. We love. Over that time, for me, it became, hey, this is a really interesting space. Like restaurants, wow, so much going on. Like the different vendors that serve restaurants. It's like it's a complex web of companies that make restaurants happen. And so working through partnerships, I was just fascinated. And that fascination carried through, but it turned into an appreciation and love of the industry. It helps that I love to eat. And, visiting clients, visiting partners, visiting events, like always good food around. And that helped. But over the years, it's like, wow, we care about this industry. We care about its people. Restaurant workers bust their butt to put food on the table for us when we go out to eat, and they're so often underappreciated, undercompensated. And there's a lot of them in the US. There's 15 million restaurant workers, and there's a whole new class of restaurant workers with delivery drivers. There are about 1.4 million of those folks. And so it's a great industry. It's going to be around, and it provides a lot of value to people in society. And we knew that because we've seen sea changes in technology before, that Web3 was coming, right? Web3 was coming, and the restaurant industry that we care so much about is going to have to reckon with it. And they're going to need a partner who can help them walk through it and make sense of it. Because even being in the Web3 space, as you know, Zach, it's complicated. Like, it's hard to keep up, even when you're putting a ton of time into it each day.
Moves so fast.
Restaurants can't do restaurants. I mean, if you can get a restaurateur to put an hour a week, that's an amazing accomplishment.
Right.
So they need shortcuts to not be left behind. And that shortcut is DEVOUR, where they can come to us and say, hey guys, I know you're doing everything you can to pay attention to the space and find what is going to be useful for us and our operations. And that's what we're doing, right? So the background is just long tenure in restaurant technology, having seen the trends, having seen the pandemic come and wipe a lot of restaurants out because they weren't prepared with their online ordering technologies to be able to offer delivery, to be able to offer curbside pickup. Some restaurants absolutely thrived, post pandemic, because they were down a lot of competitors and people still wanted to go out to eat, or they wanted restaurant food, and they were, drive-through lines were packed, people ordering delivery was through the roof. And so we don't want restaurants to go through unnecessary pain again. That hurts the industry. It hurts the people who work there. And there were some absolute horror stories, back at the beginning of the pandemic and throughout. So we're going to help prevent that from happening again. And right now it's just a massive opportunity. No restaurant's about to shut down because they don't have NFTs figured out, but they will miss being an early adopter of this technology. Like, the biggest opportunity is now, because if you take a leadership position in Web3 now, my gosh, you can stand out. You can make the headlines. You can, really carve out a niche for yourself with the growing, passionate Web3 community that nobody else in your neighborhood's going to have.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about off air, and I think I asked you this in one of our conversations we had on Zoom, was, do you guys have any competition? And I remember the answer was no, not really. And that made me excited as an investor and as somebody interested in seeing all these various solutions for different industries, because I hadn't heard about anything like this before. And so being like that first mover, having that first mover advantage, has to be exciting for everybody involved.
Absolutely. Yeah. If it's not surprising that we don't have competition, because it requires a combination of being willing to make this happen for restaurants before there's wide appreciation that they need this technology.
Right.
But at the same time, like, anybody is reasonably intelligent looking at this opportunity, say, wait a minute, we can't come at this and solve it from a Web3 perspective fully. You have to understand the restaurant ecosystem as it is today. You have to understand the technologies they already depend on to operate and to service their guests. Because right now, the successful solutions will tie into that. You can't just say, hey, restaurant, I know you have an operation that's working really well, and you're focused on speed of service, shaving off seconds off of an order, and having, how do you tweak your loyalty program to get more people to come back in? We want you to throw all that out and take these native Web3 solutions. Like, never going to work, right? There has to be stepping stones, not just technologically, but emotionally. like they have to realize, okay, this is an intimidating space. We got to take baby steps and learn, right? I love it when people say, hey, just don't take any action. Just focus on taking time to learn about this space. Gary V's big on that. Put in your 30 hours, right? Just consume content and information and learn about this space. Well, restaurants need to learn, but they don't have a lot of time. So we're coming at it from a standpoint of, okay, here's something you can do with DEVOUR and our technology that is no risk, pure upside, right? You can get to capture the hyper growth in Web3, and you will learn throughout the experience. You'll get to see what your guests are saying. You'll start to paying attention to Web3 concepts because your brand is starting to dabble in the space. And that's exciting, right? That we get to be not just delivering results through Web3, but helping the industry learn and start to appreciate what's here.
It's awesome. Everybody listening in, thank you all so much for joining us. We're taking a little bit of a break today from looking at charts, and I think that's probably good for everybody's mental health in crypto right now. So we're joined this morning by Chad Horn from DEVOUR, learning about this new project that is really, really fascinating, that is looking to bring the restaurant industry closer to Web3 and the future of blockchain technology. And it's set to revolutionize a lot of industries, including the restaurant industry. One of the areas that I have up on screen here, Chad, is NFTs as a service. It says their use cases for NFTs in restaurants is limitless. Where do you think this is going? And I think it'd be cool to kind of maybe capture a little bit about what restaurants are actually doing now, because some are making that shift and they're trying different things, but we're still at that infancy stage where everybody's trying to figure out what works best and how they can best utilize NFTs.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, Zach. I think about it like this, right? If, because Web 2 is mature, there's so many services people can sign up for, even StreamYard, right? Which we're using right now, right?
Yeah.
And it's a package, right? They got boom, 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 these different levels, you get these features because there's a large enough understanding of what the solution does and the market's big enough. They go, that makes sense. That's the most effective way to service our customer. Because this is new, we need to come at it from the standpoint of, okay, brand, right? The approach that makes sense for you with NFTs, which is a massive opportunity, it's going to depend on some things. It's going to depend on, are you in Los Angeles or Miami, or are you in Kansas City? What's kind of the savviness of your demographic? How old are they, right? Are people really comfortable on their smartphones, or are they not, right? And what kind of concept are you? Do you already have a loyalty program? Do you have a cult following, or is it more of a vanilla value-based brand, right? We have to look at those dynamics and help a brand craft a strategy that will work for them. And for some brands, the answer is, well, you shouldn't make a full-scale NFT, campaign and do that right now. For others, it's, you should have done this 6 months ago. And so we'll work with the brand and figure out what makes sense for them. And so NFTs as a service simply represents that, right? That whatever makes sense, we want to have the conversation, learn about their leadership team, learn about the technologies they use now, learn about who their guests are, their demographic, and help them through it. Now, we'll handle everything, right? Whatever they might be, say, we got a great artist. Let's take an example. We got a great artist. Cool. We'll work with them. We'll help them be the artist for their NFT, for example. We'll fill in the gaps. We will just make sure that they've got a successful strategy and campaign, soup to nuts. What this leads to, though, is having these conversations. Let's say a brand, so that sounds great, but this is so new to us. This feels like too much to get started. Or we might identify the brand as like, yeah, you're not ready for it. We have the industry collection as that stepping stone. And I'll go on and on about that, I'm sure. But what it is a brand can simply say, hey, I see DEVOUR, you are cultivating an awesome Web3 community around the industry collection. And that's a tribute to the restaurant industry. We can get into that. But that is a way a brand can say, hey, I want in on that. All they have to do is decide on some kind of guest benefit, a promotion, which they do dozens of times a month already, and say, this is what holders of the industry collection get when they order from us online or they visit our store. And we will aggressively promote that to our community and other collaborating Web3 communities all the time, even through the press. So a brand could say, that's a baby step that, again, no risk, super, super easy and rewarding at the same time, that they can use to learn to decide if a full NFT campaign makes sense for them. We have seen, though, NFTs can drive tremendous results. My favorite two examples right now, you've heard me mention before, Fly Fish Club in New York. A year before they open, they say, hey, we're going to be a membership restaurant. Instead of doing that the Web 2 way. They said, we're going to tokenize these. They're going to be NFTs. And they raised $16 million, now more than $16 million in capital, doing NFT memberships.
Wow.
A year before they open. What restaurant wouldn't love to raise that kind of money before they're even having to build out a space? And then you've got Long Beach, California, Bored and Hungry, one of our partners, and they decided to create a new restaurant and theme it around Bored Apes, right? They bought, just so they would have that IP, a Bored Ape and some mutant apes. They created this great spot, and they are crushing it. Mm-hmm. They're going to go international very soon with that franchise. So why though, right? Because they've tapped into the passion and energy that surrounds Web3 communities. Mm-hmm. People are looking for those real world experiences so they can extend the community that they have on a Discord into the real world and start to meet some of these people they've been talking to online. People are flying out to LA on making special trips just to visit this restaurant. That's crazy, except if you're in a Web3 community that you love, it doesn't seem crazy. You go, yeah, of course. This is a big part of my identity, right? So that's something we want to help restaurants get into first with the industry collection, super low, super easy to do, and then we're ready for them for something more advanced when they want to do that.
That's so fascinating. Oh, sorry about that. So everybody out there, if you're enjoying this, let me know down in the comment section. Let us know. Make sure you hit that like button too. And all the links for DEVOUR, if you want to learn more, I've got their website link down there, the chart down there, and their Twitter page. So go and check that out. Definitely on your own time here. Pleasure to have you here this morning too, Chad. I've got to ask you this too. So what are your plans to really scale? I guess maybe the first question is, how many restaurants are you working with now? And how do you see it scaling? And how do you plan on making sure you can scale at a massive rate? Because I foresee this thing getting really big once a few other restaurants see, the benefit of this. And I think the word is slowly getting out, given the examples you just had mentioned. What are the plans for that in terms of scaling this?
Yes. So there were two things that popped in my mind. One is hiring, right? So we are going to need more people on the team to scale this company. So that's absolutely in our plans. The other is the technology. So if we fast forward to late summer when we plan on launching the DEVOUR app, it is absolutely, though it's kind of boring, kind of behind the scenes, that we build the tech in a way that is scalable. Right. There's products out there. Every time they sign up a new customer, you need 3 account managers, right? Just to help them onboard and service their account. Well, what if we really take seriously building our solution in a way that is self-service, right? And not requiring a lot of expert configuration, right? We go through the user interface and we make sure that a restaurant can come in and on their own take advantage of our platform. I'll get into what that'll do, but that's how we think about scalability. Of course, hiring up, but building the tech to scale from the beginning. Having been in the restaurant tech space for a while, I've seen companies get that right, and those have been the unicorns, and that have shot up really quick, and others that just get bogged down in the weeds because they never built their tech and their processes to scale in the first place. So that is a huge driver of how we're designing our products for sure. But also just keeping it simple for the operator, right? I think that's one of the ways we scale, right? By not trying to insist that brands bite off more than they can chew. That we just say, hey, this is all you have to do. Here's your simple menu. We're not going to burden you with too much choice. It's this, or this, once we assess their brand, and then they go, okay, and keep it in line with things they do already, so that there's not 8 emails and 10 phone calls to get a brand to the point where they can start being productive with Web3 tech. Those are the main things that come to mind. What you asked about the number of restaurants. So so I'll kind of give the timeline. So when we started, we were talking to so many restaurants. It's our industry. We're talking to technology partners. We were gaining information. We were not selling a solution from day one. We're saying, all right, we want to know, here's our vision. Here's what DEVOUR is about. How do you see this being able to help you? What are your pain points, right? Where can we step in? And after having a lot of those conversations and getting validation on our vision, it's like, okay, now let's start building. We've gotten confirmation that this is what the industry needs and wants.
Yeah.
Let's build it. And it's now is like 2.5 weeks ago that we kind of put the stamp on the industry collection and said, okay, let's start offering this to brands. This simple, easy step in. We had the Founders Club. I'll get into that, but it showcases how easy NFTs can be. The very first product we launched, other than the token, was to just say, hey, come get this free NFT. It's on our website, and see that you can, as a brand, offer your guests an NFT with something no more complicated than a social sign-on or pop in an email. We can create the wallet in the background and give it to guests, pop the NFT in there, so that you can start to imagine, how your loyalty program and guest engagement can be enhanced with NFT. Then we went into the industry collection and said, okay, this is going to be, even before you launch your own NFT, we have one, and it's going to be attracting foodies, Web3 enthusiasts, restaurant workers, etc., that are all excited about the same thing, the intersection of restaurants and Web3. And here's what you do, right? So we didn't start offering that until recently. Now that we're growing a list of restaurants that are very interested in participating in that. We are not releasing the names. There's a good dozen or so. I was at a restaurant conference in Las Vegas last week and talking about this, and it really is not too hard to convince a restaurant to do something they're already doing, to tap into a new demographic and enjoy a lot of new guest acquisition at a much lower cost per acquired guest than they're used to. No cost to them, very easy to set up. So we'll be making some announcements about some of our first brands in that collection soon. But the big push, we're going to be in Chicago late next week, getting ready for the biggest restaurant conference in North America. About 70,000 people that come through from the industry, and we are going to be promoting DEVOUR in a very large, exciting looking booth, and talking a lot about the industry collection and how both restaurants can get involved with it, but also how holders, right, could get involved with it, and why they might be interested in the rewards that are available to them.
That's really fascinating. And I think that's going to be unique, because, there aren't going to be many booths doing what you're doing, right?
We've looked at the other exhibitors, Zach, in a exhibit hall or multiple exhibit halls that will fit roughly 1,500 to 2,000 booths. I'm estimating we'll be the only one.
Pretty cool. That's awesome. It's got to feel so cool to have, like, that first mover advantage. I mean, we talk about that all the time in various industries, and the sky's the limit, and you can really let, the people that are owning these restaurants kind of dictate where you want this thing to go once they see the benefit of the overall technology and how it can help them. It's awesome. So guys, if you guys have questions, guys and gals out there, thank you all so much too for tuning in this morning. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done that. If you have questions, keep those rolling in. We do have one here from Lost in Crypto. He says he can't get this token to list in Trust Wallet. He did go ahead and add it as a new token. When he inputted the contract, it doesn't populate as other contracts. I input to add a token /coin contract. Do you have anything on this, Chad?
I've done it myself. So I would just encourage you there to jump in our Telegram, which is t.me/devour token, and ask one of the devs or the mods there to help with that. We could certainly help you figure that out. But I know that it works because I have done it myself.
Okay. Yeah, and I've actually acquired the token through MetaMask. So I haven't used Trust Wallet per se, but MetaMask worked just fine. So let's actually talk about exchanges a little bit. I guess that we can kind of go there a little bit. What's your philosophy on exchanges? Are you? Because I'm hearing different things now. When I talk to different developers, I'm hearing the side of, yes, we want to go after the exchanges. We want to allocate a certain amount of money to go toward that. But then I'm also hearing the other side of it, where it's like, you know what? We'll let the exchanges come to us when they're ready, when we get bigger, and let it be an organic process. Where do you all sit on that? Is it somewhere in between?
It's somewhere in between. Yeah, we're talking to some exchanges right now. But we look at the advantages of an exchange. So certainly the exposure and the accessibility that comes with it is nice, right? And especially with some of the bigger names. So we are going to we are planning on working with some exchanges over time. But because the benefits are exposure and accessibility, and we already have other plans to solve for both of those problems. But what the accessibility piece that's already built into our Founders Club NFT experience now, that we'll be replicating for brands and our own NFT. It's not going to be very hard, right? To get involved. Simply you can go from credit card to crypto, or debit card to crypto. That's not, that technology exists and we're incorporating it in. So it, and then you add the exposure piece. Well, once we get restaurants, large brands starting to disseminate the program to their millions of guests, we get the exposure as well. Even the event in Chicago next week is a ton of exposure. So we don't feel we need the exchanges per se, but we see them as an added benefit that we're going to pursue in proper priority.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's I think it's interesting getting people's perspective on that, because a lot of people have said we'll let the exchanges kind of come when they when they come knocking. We don't want to really go after them, because it's a lot of money. I mean, people don't realize that, people listening, it's not free.
Yep.
To get listed on exchanges, and
Right.
depending on the tier of the exchange, you got to ensure that you're getting that ROI. And a lot of times during the bear market, people even think, well, maybe we should just keep it on the decentralized side of thing, right? Side of things right now, and kind of let this process play out. But
Yep.
hey, talk about industry nights. So last night we had one. So fill us in on these, and what's the conversation during industry nights?
Yes. So we've done Twitter Spaces before, but now we're having the recurring industry nights on Tuesdays. The industry is in some circles well known for just having that night for the industry workers. Like, they come and like they know, hey, we're all people from the industry. The reason we're doing that is because we have so many opportunities to bring influential, experienced, interesting people from the restaurant industry into these spaces to share their life stories with the community. And we know our community would love to hear from them. This restaurant group CEO, this technology leader, this person who's been a chef for 20 years. I mean, that's what this is about, right? Connecting our community with some fascinating, influential people in the space, so that we can hear from the industry that we're serving. Because there would otherwise, like, we could stay in, be a tendency to stay in the Web3 silo, and actually people could miss the impact that the technologies we're building are actually having on the restaurants that we're serving. And we're so much of what's driving DEVOUR and the leadership team is being able to give back to this industry that we want. And that's so meaningful to us. We want everyone else to experience that too, to see like lives being changed, and hear servers, hear hosts, hear dishwashers, hear from people that are in this space, and what their lives are like, and how DEVOUR and our vision intersects with them. So that's what that's about. So yeah, first one last night, and looking forward to many more.
Very cool. Yeah, just a personal story too. I spent 10 plus years working in the restaurant industry myself, as a dishwasher, just pretty much everything. Busboy, I did the bartending, and it's real people in that industry. Really hardworking people too, and yeah, I think that's going to be really big for all of you, because you're working with a well diversified group of people who can really, as you said, cater this toward their individual needs depending on their business model. Like you said, a restaurant in New York City versus a mom and pop in the middle of Iowa, right? It's totally different, right? And what you
Right.
can provide. I love that you guys are casting a wide net too, right? And you're not kind of going after just the one aspect, or just the high end, or just the big chains, that you guys can cater it to the individual restaurant. But talk about a little bit, like, how did you come up with this? How long did it take how long have you been planning this? Fill us in there. I'm interested.
Been planning it in earnest since last fall.
Okay.
And then we launched it in December 22nd. We launched the token, and a little bit prior to that, and certainly the months following, our focus was conversation, education, learning. We knew we had a vision of what, kind of think about the initial roadmap. It's changed a lot, right? Because at first it was like, hey, what do we think? What the conversations had, what do we think the industry needs? It's changed a lot in response to conversations with actual restaurants and actual technology providers. And we realized, oh, hey, we were wrong about this, or this isn't as important as we thought. And this new thing we hadn't thought about was way more important. So let's focus there. And we were just learning, like, ultimately going back to that original mission. It's like, how do we help Web3 technologies? How do we have Web3 technologies help restaurants now, not 6 months from now, right? Not even 3 months from now, right? Like, how do we do it now? And this is where that foundational work with conversations and getting the roadmap right, and evolving it was super critical, because now we know, for example, again, seeing the successes, right? We know that NFT technology matters, right? And even like, it's not like NFTs, crypto. Well, which one? Like, which one matters the most? NFT in a silo, like all by itself, NFTs do, right? How do we know that? Because other restaurants have accepted crypto as a form of payment, and it has not moved the needle for them. It didn't solve a big enough problem today to be able to offer crypto for guests or for themselves for it to, again, move the needle. However, we believe that crypto as an ancillary experience to an ecosystem where guests are being incentivized to come in because of connection with an NFT, right? They're getting some experience, and they're also earning crypto, which then they have to, they are going to want to spend. So now they're coming back. Okay, as part of that kind of ecosystem, it works really well. Whereas NFTs by themselves, as I mentioned, the Bored and Hungry example, line out the door, Fly Fish Club membership, there's utility there that has huge results all by itself. So we're looking at what works and figuring out how to best apply that to the industry. And NFTs right now are the focus, while we still have the token ecosystem we're developing, and absolutely going to use that, because it goes back to the right now. Right now, there are results to be had.
Do you foresee some of the really big chains, the big restaurants, having their own token and just utilizing their own token? And if so, how could DEVOUR still be a part of that?
Yeah. So the cool thing about blockchain technology is we could incorporate another brand's token. They'll be clear though. There are going to be brands like McDonald's, that just do their own thing.
Yeah.
They're going to have, or Domino's, for example, like they've got 200 IT staff. There will be the largest brands that just do their own thing, and that's okay. And so we may not work with every brand, but there are some very large brands that, don't even have the first clue about this space. They're going to want the help.
Yeah.
And of course, you go smaller than that, of course, they're not going to have their own blockchain team. But we will always be open to collaboration. Even our platform is about facilitating collaboration. So if a brand does a lot or most of stuff on their own, but still wants to leverage DEVOUR, we'll have a way for them to do that. But we're thinking, when thinking in terms of our target market, we're thinking about those mid-sized chains.
Okay.
Right, regional chains, especially ones with cult followings that people are really excited about. Those are the ones we'll be able to do the most for soon, like with NFTs as a service. But for the industry collection, because it's such an easy point of entry, that'll work anywhere from a mom and pop to a large chain. And I could see even a large chain becoming a participant in the industry collection, even if they were doing their own research and technology plan with NFTs that didn't include DEVOUR. So we have something for everybody, bottom line.
We got an interesting question here. Let's see here. Let me go full screen so we can both. Okay. If I own a franchise, but my mother company already has a mobile app and they cannot even fathom layering a new app on top, would I, as a franchisee, be able to utilize DEVOUR for my customers?
Possibly. Depends on their franchisor agreement.
Yeah.
um, the what we would advise that franchisee though to do is say, hey, if you see how DEVOUR could help you, connect us to the mother company, and we will show them that there's nothing but upside here. Starting with the industry collection, like we can help them do something that is not going to be intimidating, that would help all their franchisees. Um, but I would say that that franchisee, if they weren't successful with the mother company, we could still figure something out for them.
Hmm. Very interesting. Let's see. I was looking for any other questions in the chat. If anybody has questions, please keep them rolling in. Certainly want to hear from everybody out there. I know a lot of people freaking out about the market. I think it's good to kind of break away from it a little bit today and don't
Yeah.
look at the charts as much. It's been crazy, but you know what? DEVOUR's holding steady, Chad. I mean, you guys are hanging in there. I mean, especially being a new project. I had the chart up right here. We'll pull it back up. I mean, for being a new project, I mean, really, I mean, you're coming back down to kind of where we were in March, but I mean, everything is
Right.
feeling it right now in the market. But you've got to be pretty happy with how things have held up. I mean, this early on in your guys' process.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a testament to one, our community, right? They are the folks in our community have taken the time, right, to become educated on our project, our team, and of course, just connecting the dots, right? Kind of thinking, all right, where does this go, right? Like, what are the risks, rewards associated with having the exclusive company servicing the massive restaurant market?
Hmm.
So that's a big deal, right? And so the community is huge, and then it's our team, right? We're focused so much on the long term that we're not doing anything that would sacrifice that. And I think that shows in a lot of ways. And thankfully, it shows up in the chart.
So Luke has one, and Luke, I'm sorry I missed this first question the first time you asked it. Sorry about that. Any plans to work with Wellies? Have you heard about Wellies? You're familiar with Shib and that whole ecosystem, right?
Um, I am not intimately involved with the SHIB
Okay.
ecosystem. However, I have heard of Wellies.
Okay.
Um, there are no plans currently, but that would be great. I'm putting that down because I need to reach out, because there are. I mean, I think the most exciting thing is, for terms of who our initial partners could be, they should absolutely include other restaurants that have a Web3 connection. And Wellies, like, I'm ashamed that it's not on my list already, but I'm making note. I will reach out to that team.
Definitely. On that front too, I mean, because we have a lot of people who are, locked into Shiba Inu, and everything going on in that ecosystem on our
Hmm.
channel here, because that's kind of what my channel
Yep.
was built on very early on. So, I do have some connections with some of the coffee companies that are selling Shiba Inu coffee. So maybe I can even help facilitate some conversations there. That could be
Yeah.
fascinating. It's been so interesting to watch, Chad. And I think, you obviously see this, all of these various companies that have utilized this huge, huge group of people that is Shiba Inu in the ecosystem and have found ways to build a business while still helping grow Shiba Inu in its entire ecosystem. It's very fascinating. And a lot of it has been in the restaurant industry, with Wellies, and then the two coffee companies. You're seeing a couple cafes, accepting SHIB as payment in various places in Europe. It's
Yep.
very fascinating. So, but it's still early. That's
It
got to
is.
excite you. I mean, it's just, man, I would love to be in your shoes, because you guys are so out in front of something. You're not playing catch up. I know I keep going back to this, but man, it's got to be exciting. So, what were those details on the meeting, or on the not meeting, but conference next week?
So the details are, I'm coming in Thursday night to Chicago.
Hmm.
We're going to set up the big 20 by 20-foot booth on Friday. Going
Okay.
to give ourselves ample time, because I've never set up one that large before. It's quite a display. And then Saturday through Tuesday, so 21st through 22nd, are 4 days in a row of a massive trade show, right?
Yeah.
So I can't. There are no words to describe what that's like. You almost have to kind of YouTube video and hope you get a a good clip of what that's like. It's just tons of foot traffic for like 7-8 hours a day, 4 days in a row. And we have a display that's going to bring people in. They'll mint their free NFT with the Founders Club. Again, open invitation to all your viewers as well. And then that will be their ticket
Mm-hmm.
to an event that we're holding one of those evenings. It's actually going to be Sunday night. And
Okay.
then so they'll get the experience like, oh, real world utility associated with NFT. Didn't cost me anything. That'll be really cool. And then they'll also be able to check out the industry collection, which will be heavily promoted in the booth, and talk about anything Devour that they want. So very excited for that event. And yeah, it's going to be here before we know it.
Man, so many opportunities to network, as Creasy just said in chat. And what's the goal to come out of this? Is it to come out of it with like 5 or 6 really good prospects? Is it just to kind of cast a wide net, get the word out? Is it a little bit of everything? You know,
Yeah, so it's the getting the word out. We've
yeah.
referred to it often as it's our coming out party in the industry. Well, I have been at other industry conferences. Gosh, I've already lost count, like at least 3, and it's been more focused on large enterprise restaurants and smaller gatherings. So there's decent, great events, but nothing like this scale. So this is our coming out party to the industry, generating some buzz, excitement, press, getting all kinds of people, restaurants to restaurant workers, everybody in the industry, exposure to the industry collection. That's the cool thing. It's like we're not just like we don't care. Like a lot of the other booths, they're going to be like, all right, let me check your badge. Are you someone I care about? If you're walking by, we care about you. You're here. You clearly have a connection to the restaurant industry. Come check this collection out. This tribute to the industry. You have all the different restaurant worker positions represented in the art, and then as you get this NFT, you are getting access to a VIP restaurant rewards program that like you've never seen. On day 1, people will be earning points by holding the NFT that they'll be able to redeem for real restaurant gift cards from awesome restaurants. It won't be just big boxes that you see on all these other gift card exchanges. It'll be like, oh, that's a really cool restaurant group. I like these guys. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. And yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcoli brings up a great point here. Finally, a project I could be patient with, and I know this was part of our conversation off air too. And this is not it's not a hype beast where it's like, hey, can we get the most traffic in the shortest amount of time, and hopefully we can continue to grow from there. This is a slow and steady wins the race type of project. You want to speak to that a little bit? And I think a lot of the listeners sometimes, it's tough because they want it all right now, right? They want to have that next 10x tomorrow, and they're in it, and they but this is not that. This is a project built to last, and I'll let you kind of put some meat around that too.
Yeah, I take it for granted at this point, right? So, but I'll force myself. So my reaction to that is, I know your time horizon. I mean, there's some people that actually do need a certain amount of money in a month or 2. It's like, know that, right, about your situation and proceed accordingly. But if you have a longer time horizon, go to the fundamentals, right? Go to what is this? How does this play out? Right? Do you believe in the power of blockchain technology? Why? Like, can you articulate to somebody why blockchain tech is going to be so impactful? The friction that it removes from the systems of the world. If not, become educated on that. Get grounded in your fundamentals. Like, why would you get involved with any project in this space, right? And understand what matters. Think about what that utility is. I mean, for us, it's the real world utility of restaurants. There are valuable Web3 utilities too, right? That are really solid. But go back to the fundamentals. I was beginning of the year, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was saying there's going to be a crypto winter coming. And there's, like he said, people are going to get hurt, and like, there's a part of him that's going to be excited, right? He's waiting for it because that's how he's going to get to fulfill his lifelong dream of buying the Jets football team, is because he's going to buy the dip, right? He's going to take advantage of watching companies that have a long-term utility, right? That handle this period of time well, and just keep focusing on building, right? In the quiet moments when nobody's paying attention, they're building. They're building.
That's it. That's it.
And that's who he's going after, and he's going to build his empire on it. And so it's just find people that that have some experience, listen what they say, understand your foundation, and don't succumb to fear, but also don't succumb to greed, right? So you gotta just stay grounded.
Yeah.
So that's my advice. It's not easy, especially in times like this, but continuous education, stay grounded.
Yeah, love that. And only invest what you're willing to lose too. I mean, take care of all the things.
Yeah.
I had somebody in chat earlier saying, they just over leverage themselves. And I put a video out recently. It's going to come out. I'm gonna get this one like kind of more edited and things like that. The 5 things not to do during this market. Right? We always talk about the things to do, but what not to do is just as important, especially at times like this, because people become overly emotional. They start making irrational decisions without thinking it through. Right?
Right.
Don't forget why you got into crypto. Don't forget why you started in the first place. Days like yesterday or 2 days ago and today, man, they could derail a lot of hopes and dreams if you let your emotions get the best of you. So zoom out a little bit, be patient, understand that it's a volatile market. Crypto is not like stocks. I mean, the stock market's down, of course, but as quickly as things can go down, they can go up just as fast. I mean, the example last year that I talked about, just before you came on, people forget Bitcoin was down to 28K, went all the way up to 63K, came all the way back down to 30, and then went to 69, all in 1 year, right? All in 2021. So it's a long year. And I think most of us are playing that long game. So, Boca's got some good insight on the gentleman who asked about the Trust Wallet. Looks like you need to manually add it to Trust Wallet decimals 18. So there you go. Thank you for that, Boca.
Thank you, Boca.
Daniel's got an interesting question. How do tips work in this project's design? Wouldn't staff have to proxy divvying through the owner? Doesn't that open up opportunities for them dipping their hand in the cookie jar? Interesting question.
So I'm not going to just guess at something that is outside of my realm of expertise in the project. I'm going to defer that to our head of product here. One of our advisors is Rick Elliott. He comes from PAR. He founded Brink Point of Sale, the point of sale system in use by large enterprise brands like Five Guys and Arby's and Dairy Queen. So you can better believe he's seen every single aspect of transactions and tipping. I'm not going to speak for him and our tech team on how they're going to execute on this, but I feel confident that we will find the best, and if not the best, a very, very good path to solving the details of transactions, including tipping. So, great question though, and Daniel, my email, I'll share it with you. Feel free to email me, and I'll follow up with you on the precise answer here. It's chad@devour.io, and in Telegram, I'm a Devour upholder. So whichever way you want to grab me, open up a line of communication, and I'll get you the answer.
Awesome. He's got another one too. Is the project implementing mechanics for reversing/stopping payments as one would stop a credit card payment? This one might be for somebody else.
Yeah, I'm in a similar answer. This one has come up, and it won't be as one would stop a credit card payment. It's definitely a different mechanic, but we are aware of needing to address this for sure. Same thing. I can get you the answer once it becomes clear to us exactly how we're going to address that.
Mm-hmm. And I've got Chad's email up on screen too. So if you want to reach out to him, Daniel, or anybody else has some questions.
I'll even add to that, Daniel. One of the things that is exciting to me, that where it will basically be business as usual in some cases, is with respect to payment and ordering platforms. So we can leverage existing ordering and loyalty solutions in the way we deliver utility. For example, so even if, let's say a restaurant wants to get in Web3, but they don't have to solve all of the payment aspects. If there's something that the ecosystem isn't ready for, what they can do is say, hey, we want to recognize NFT communities. And so part of our app is to foster that collaboration. So we could say, pick the industry collection, for example, or the Bored Apes, right? They go, that smart contract gets entered into the back end of our app. We get to it then, or the restaurant gets to say, hey, what do those people get? Like if they order from us online or visit, what is the benefit to them? That utility and community pairing is mapped. And so then those folks automatically get it associated with the NFT, even if they're paying with credit card, right? So, or cash, right? Not everything has to be through the actual Devour Pay payments. A lot will be, especially as we grow the ecosystem, but we'll be able to leverage existing technologies in delivering Web3 dining experiences.
Very interesting. Here's one too. Are there any plans to sync with accounting applications such as Zero Sage or QB?
Not currently. The reason for that is that the transactions will hit the restaurant's point of sale, and then it's the accounting applications that integrate with the point of sale, the record of truth, to get the data they need to do their thing. So there's an existing link in the chain that solves that problem for us. Not saying there won't be a reason for us to sync with them at some point, but that syncing will be handled another way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. Thank you all too for the great questions, and for everybody out there listening today. Chad, I always, end it with this. Is there something that I didn't ask or something that didn't come up that you definitely wanted to just talk about and address? And yeah, the floor is yours.
I would like to address kind of the aspect of what matters most, right? And because especially in this market, right? I want everybody listening, like when I think about like, why am I confident that Devour is going to stand the test of time? And therefore, like what I would want to be evaluated on, right? What I would encourage everyone to evaluate other projects on. I'm going to go through those things, right? I want to start with the team, right? Check me out, check Shelly Rupel out, check Lisa Egbert out, check all of our advisors out on LinkedIn. See the history there. See what we're about, right? Because no project, no matter what the utility roadmap is any stronger than the team and the team's intention, right? And the team's not just intention, capacity to deliver on the roadmap. So please check us out and get in the habit of doing that with any project you're invested in. Because from my perspective, like that's why I'm confident. I'm confident in this project first and foremost because of the people doing this alongside me. If we didn't have a solid team, it's like I can't do it all myself. Shelly can't do it all herself, though she comes close, right? Like we absolutely can be confident in our ability to do this because of the people. The other is the space we're in, right? Get to know restaurants, right? When you go out to eat next time, just talk to people, look around, just kind of get a sense of like, how do these places tick? And as you learn more and more about Web3, what are the kind of things that you think will make a difference over the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? And ask yourself, is Devour aware? Is Devour doing the things that matter? I firmly believe we are, but I want everybody to feel the same and challenge us if they feel like, you know what, guys, I think you're missing an opportunity. Great, let's talk, right? Because we will miss some opportunities. We will have some blind spots. We'll be focused on deliver A, B, C, and we'll miss D, even though D is really valuable. So everyone paying attention with us and seeing things. It might be something unique to a market. It's like, hey, do you know what's going on in Seattle? Do you know what's going on in Boston? Like, this is a crazy opportunity for Dower. Like, great, tell us. Like, that's another thing. And then, think about don't think about Devour through the lens of where the Web3 ecosystem is today. Think about it from where it's going. One of the things I like that Gary V says is like, imagine when, you know, where the wallet, right? People's wallet and the assets, the crypto assets they have there is like their wallet in their pocket, where it's like that's where, you know, they're showing like kind of social currency, like this is what I'm about, like
Right.
here are my NFTs, my affiliations, my interests, the information I want you to have about me. That when that starts governing how people interact with each other, like they have interacted on Facebook and Twitter, etc., and it will, right? Make sure you've investigated that question. When that is the case, what do restaurants do with that, right? Restaurants are such an important part of people's lives. People are going to want to connect with the brands they most care about in that way. No one's going to say, all right, well, I'm into this music. I'm into, you know, hanging out in these kinds of places. You know, this is my fashion, whatever they care. But this is like my car. Like, they're going to want restaurants that they like represented in their public persona as captured in their wallet. And restaurants will have insane ways of capitalizing on that. And DEVOUR will be right there to help them make it happen. And it's, and then the connection between those things, the collaboration between restaurants and every other brand, right? Like, you know, why does the Shiba, you know, why do they have those coffee relationships and the restaurants? Because any Web3 community that's trying to give utility, real world utility to their fans, their community, they're going to think about, wait a minute, wouldn't it be cool if we had a restaurant relationship where people could, it's a gathering space, it's something that unites people. It's going to be broadly applicable. Everyone's going to be looking at restaurants, and then they're going to be asking themselves the question, like, how? Who's going to make that come together? Who's going to make so that, like, holding an NFT and getting that authenticated in the right way in a restaurant environment unlocks my access, and if I don't have it, I don't get it, right? Like, that's tech. It's going to need a focused approach to make that happen at scale and to build those collaborations in. And especially when you think about how that needs to interface with existing restaurant technologies, it's outside the realm of just Web3. It's the marriage of Web3, Web2, and this is the team that can do it. So I would say think through those things, and then join us in our Telegram. We, you know, this isn't like hey, everything has to be figured out today. Come in, engage, ask questions, see how we operate, and we would love to have more people in our community that are just passionate about the coming together of Web3 and restaurants and what it means for the industry, restaurant fans, dining experiences of the future. And we're excited and would love to have more people on our crew.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I encourage everybody, you know, we always say it and it sounds like a cliche now, but do your own research, right? The website is down there. Check out the white paper, dig into it. Shout out to Alan in the chat. He just said he was digging into it this past weekend. Take the time and, you know, read through. And if you have questions, as Chad said, go over the Telegram. You can get, you know, questions answered. And I guess Daniel has one more. This is a good one, so we'll bring this up. When can we expect a GitHub for DEVOUR's platform? Will the app and platform be open sourced? How is the information security being administered? Daniel's a very, very smart guy, by the way. He's in my Discord.
He is.
These very, very good questions. So,
Daniel, now I'm thinking I should just connect you to our tech team. So let's add this question to the list, because I will not, you know, attempt to answer it well in the final minutes of our time here this morning. So, good question, and I'm not certain on all the answers there. So,
yeah, Daniel's a very, very bright mind. Maybe Daniel, jump over to the Telegram or get connected with Chad. I can, you know, get you his email. We put it up on screen and maybe get some of those answered. So, Chad, really enjoyed the time, man. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you everybody out there for listening. And we'll definitely do this again. I know we were talking about doing a Twitter space maybe in the near distant future.
Yeah,
so be on the lookout for that, everybody, as well. And really enjoyed it, man. Thanks for coming on
Me too,
first
Zach.
pick.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.